Hi, Yogi Scholars. It's Kristen with Yoga Day. This is our last class of the 5th week, and in honor of that, it's going to be more of a gentle class. And I'm going to introduce a poet who actually lives right here in San Antonio. Her name is Naomi Shihab. I've been a fan of hers for years and years and years, and I've been reading this poem for years and years and years and years, and it's a very special one for me, and I hope it means something to you as well. And the poem is entitled Shoulders. A man crosses the street in rain, stepping gently, looking 2 times north and south, because his son is asleep on his shoulder. No car must splash him, no car drive too near to his shadow. This man carries the world's most sensitive cargo, but he's not marked. Nowhere does his jacket say fragile, handle with care. His ear fills up with breathing. He hears the hum of a boy's dream deep inside him. We're not going to be able to live in this world if we're not willing to do what he's doing with one another. The road will only be wide. The rain will never stop falling. And I'm going to read that again to you at the end. And also there's going to be a link that you can do as homework to explore a little bit more about Naomi Shihab. She lives right here in town, and she's pretty amazing. And so if you're interested, there's that. And so we're going to have a gentle class today, being grateful for ourselves, being gentle with ourselves, and handling ourselves as if we were marked fragile, handle with care. All right. We're also going to do a few things that are a little bit harder, but it should be fun. So come to the back of your mat if you have a mat. If not, just comes to a seated position. We're going to start off in child pose. Kind of roly-poly there. Bring your big toes together, open your knees out wide, and then gently walk your hands down and let your forehead rest on the neck. Close your eyes. Rock your head gently from side to side. Feel the weight of your forehead against the ground. And right now, tune into your body. See how it feels. Notice if you're holding tension in your shoulders. Let them relax. Maybe move them around a little bit. Maybe your hips or your back feel a little bit tight. Maybe you slept a little longer last night. Keep your belly and press your hips further back toward your heels. And know that everything that we're going to do in the next 30 minutes or so is going to help to make your body feel better. Take a breath in, breath out. Slowly come up to a tabletop position, wrists underneath your shoulders, knees underneath your hips. Inhale, belly down, chin up, stretch your throat. Exhale for cat, draw the belly in, looking at your belly. Inhale, belly down, chin up. Exhale, draw in. Now we're going to go from side to side. So look over your right shoulder, pull your right hip to your right shoulder. Feel the stretch on the side of your body. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, look over your left shoulder. Pull your left hip towards your left shoulder. Come back to center. Bring your hand to the ground, left hand to the ground. Right hand up, look up. Take a breath in, stretch. And now we're going to work on our shoulders, just like in the poem, have the boys on the shoulders. We're going to stretch our shoulders. So roll onto your shoulders. Take your left hand and press it into the ground. You should get a nice stretch right into the shoulder blade. And come back to center, other side, right hand down, left hand up, look up. And thread your left hand in between your right hand and your right knee, roll onto your shoulder. Slowly make your way back to center. Tabletop position, just come into a seated posture. Sit up nice and tall, pull the belly in, take the left hand over the head, stretch your right arm to the right, breath in, breath out, pull, feel the stretch on the side of your neck. The more you gently walk your fingers away from you, the more you're going to feel that stretch. And let's do the other side. Left hand out, right hand over. Pull. Back to center. Now let's work on our shoulders again. Big rolls. So really exaggerate this. As you roll your shoulders forward, think about pulling the backs of your shoulder blades apart. As you roll your shoulders back, think about squeezing your shoulder blades in toward one another. Big rolls forward. Big rolls backward. And now twist. Left hand over your right knee, right hand back behind you. Breath in, stretch out. Breathe out, look over your shoulder, twist. Breathe in, stretch out. Breathe out, twist. Other side, right hand over the left knee, left hand back behind you. Breath in. Breath out, look over your shoulder. Breathe in, lengthen up. Breathe out, look over your shoulder. Come back to the center, hands on the mat, curl your toes under, lift your hips up, downward facing dog. Get some movement here, shake your head yes and no. Draw the shoulders away from the ears, pedal the legs back and forth and back and forth. Feel free to do whatever feels good for you here. All right, pedal your legs right and left and right and left. Sorry for that little hesitation there. All right, look between your two hands. If you want, it's the first one, so you can walk forward if you want, or if it feels fun for you, pull the belly in, look between your two hands, and see if you can lightly hop forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reach up, arms up. And exhale, sit down into Utkatasana, chair pose. Sit down low, lift your chest up, pull the belly in. We're going to work on our balance here. Take a breath in. Breath out, arms back behind you, come up on your toes. And inhale back. Exhale, come up on your toes. Inhale back. Exhale, come up on your toes. Inhale back. Sit down a little bit lower. See if you can stay in that squat. Keep your right leg forward and step your left leg back to a warrior one. Okay. Warrior one, the first time you step, it may not work, right? You might have to adjust. I like to have my right heel in line with my right hip and my left heel in line with my left hip. You can see that happen. If you want it a little bit more challenging, you can line the two heels up with one another. So try it both ways to see which way you like. Make sure you can see your toes. When you press the outer edge of your foot into the ground, you're going to feel the muscles of your leg wake up, and that's a good thing. Squeeze the glute and push your hips forward. Arms up over your head for warrior one. Take a big breath. Look up. Breathe out. Open your arms for warrior two. You might have to adjust that back foot a little bit. Keep the belly in nice and tight. Lift up. Imagine I have your hair and I'm pulling you up. The upper half of your body stretching up, but the lower half of your body is coming down. Still be mindful you can see your toes. Take a breath in. Breath out. Squeeze your shoulder blades in toward one another. Feel that. Open your chest. Flip your front palm over. Breathe in to stretch up and reverse warrior. Breathe out back to warrior two. Breathe in, lengthen up. Breathe out, warrior two. Breathe in, stretch up. Breathe out, warrior two. Big breath in. Let it out. Bring your elbow to your knee. Stretch your arm up toward the ceiling. Extended side angle pose. You can stay here, resting on your elbow. Now make sure you're not caving in, right? You want to create some space between your ear and your shoulder. You can stretch your arm up over your head. And then if you want to challenge yourself a little bit more, you can lift that bottom arm up. That's a core supported one. And you really feel it in your legs. Keep your belly in. Really hold yourself up. Breath in. Breath out. Come back. Warrior two. Straighten your front leg. Stretch over your toes. Triangle pose. Right hand down. Left hand up. Look up. Inhale, slowly come up. Step that back foot in a couple of inches. Now, squeeze in and push your hips fully. See that motion I'm doing? Imagine you have something between your legs. You're squeezing your legs together. Put your hands on your hips. Inhale, lift up, and exhale, slowly fold forward. I'm going to walk my foot a little bit more. We're going to work it into a twist. Bring your left hand down inside. Stretch your right arm up toward the ceiling. Look up. Now you're welcome to stay here. Oop, I just leveled out my hips. So you can put your hand back on your tailbone and then or your sacrum and then feel if your hips are kind of in one line. You can stay here or see if you can put your weight in your hand and your leg and lift that back leg up. This is revolved half moon. It may feel a little bit weird. You might fall out. That's all right. Take a breath in. Breath out. Step your foot back down. Put your hands on the mat, on the ground, and step back. Dog. Pedal your legs right and left, right and left. Here's that jump again. You can either walk or jump. Look between your two hands. Exhale the air out. Walk or hop forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reach up, arms up. Exhale, sit down, another Utkatasana. Take a breath in. Breath out, come up on your toes. Ooh, that one's a hard one for me. Inhale back. Exhale, come up on your toes. Inhale back. Exhale, come up on your toes. Inhale back. Now this time your left leg is going to stay forward. Step your right leg back, warrior one. Adjust as you need to. Remember that alignment. Toes, you can see them. Knee is lined up with your big and second toe. Backside foot, push it into the ground. Wake up the muscles of the leg. Squeeze the glute. Push the hips forward. Arms up over your head. Breath in. Breath out. Inhale. Exhale. Open your arms. Warrior two. Adjust that back foot if you need to. Now the side of your foot is going to be parallel to the short side of your mat. Flip your front palm over. Inhale, reverse. Exhale, back to warrior two. Inhale, lengthen up. Exhale, back to warrior two. Inhale, reverse. Exhale, back to warrior two. Breath in. Breath out. Extended side angle pose. Elbow to your knee. Stretch your arm up. Make sure you're not caving in. Create space. If you want to try that core supported, go for it. See how it feels. Slowly come back up warrior two. Straighten your front leg. Stretch over your toes. Triangle. Remember in that triangle pose, your hand can go wherever it's comfortable. The floor, your ankle, maybe all the way up to your calf. That's where I'm comfortable. And then pay attention to your hips. Push your hips forward and feel that stretch through the side of your body. Inhale, slowly come up. All right, step the back foot in just a few inches. Square your hips, so push that back hip forward. Try to keep your two hips in one line. It's difficult to do for some people. It's difficult for me, right? You can also keep your hands on your hips and really pay attention as you slowly fold forward. Then when I work on the twist, that's usually when my hips kind of go cattywampus. I love that word, cattywampus. And so if that's you, you can put your hand right there on your sacrum on your hips. Put your hand on the floor next to your front foot and then gently twist. Then when you're ready, stretch your arm up. Take a big breath in. Exhale the air out, hands to the mat, step back downward facing dog. Pedal your legs right and left and right and left. One more hop. Take a breath in. Breath out, look between your two hands, step or hop forward. The more you do it, the better you're going to get at it. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, stretch up. Exhale, arms down. All right, just a couple of balancing postures. Shift your weight to your right leg, push your right big toe down. You can have a little bend in your knee if you'd like. And then go ahead and grab your left knee in front. Find one spot to focus on. Now remember, if you're really flexible, if you do cheer or dance or something like that, and you want to reach your hand inside your leg, you can either grab your big toe or you can grab the outside of your foot. Now when I reach down to grab, notice how I'm rounding. Lift up as tall as you can. Keep your spine nice and long, belly in tight, shoulders back. If you're holding your foot, you can try to kick forward. Breathe in. Breathe out. As you breathe out, you can open your leg out to the side. Now, if your knee is bent, it's going to look like this, right? Stretch your arm to the right. Okay, it's going to get a little tricky here. Come back to the center. If your knee is bent, you keep it bent. If your foot is straight, you're going to switch hands. Take your right hand, to the outside of your left foot. Stretch your left arm back behind you. If your knee is bent, it looks like this. Come back to the center so you can hold it out there. 3, sorry about the bottom of my foot. 2, 1, drop it down, shake it out. Let's do the other side. Shift your weight to your left leg, push your left big toe down, slight bend in the knee. Reach down, grab your knee in front. Grab your knee, or if you tried it on the other side, try it on this side. Reach around, grab your big toe or your outside of your foot, and then lift up. You want not to be rounding forward. Pull your shoulders back, pull your belly in. When you're ready, extend. If you're holding your knee, you stay right there, but then as we exhale, you're going to open the leg out to the side. Slowly stretch your left arm to the left. Slowly look over your fingers. Remember, if your knee is bent, it looks like this. Then bring it back to the center, switch hands, left hand to the outside of the foot, right hand back behind you. And to me, the trickiest part is shifting your gaze and looking back behind you. Come back to center so you can hold it out there. 3, 2, 1, drop it down, shake it out. All right, we're gonna go down to the ground by way of plank pose. Inhale, stretch up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step back plank. Remember, you can do plank pose on your knees. You just drop the knees down and you hold plank pose there. Just make sure when you're in plank pose, you're not in a tabletop position, right? That's not very difficult, but you have to walk your legs back behind you. So get into the plank first, then drop your knees down and hold it from there. There is a story about plank pose that I like to tell. You're going to hold plank pose while I tell the story. So the story is, first off, the world record for holding plank pose is 8 hours and 15 minutes, and it's held by a 62-year-old man who's an ex-Marine. The story I like, that's awesome and amazing, but the story that I like better than that, it's a story about a little girl named Gabby Uri, and she's from Boulder, Colorado, and she was born with a something called the Vader syndrome, which affects a lot of the muscles in her body, and she's missing vertebrae. And she wanted to try out for the volleyball team, but she couldn't run because over the course of her 14 years or 16 years, she's had 14 surgeries. And one of those, and part of that is that she didn't have calf muscles. So the coach told her while everyone else was running, she was supposed to do plank pose. She ended up holding plank pose for 12 minutes. And that inspired her to break the women's world record at that time, this was in 2014, of 1 hour and 40 minutes. So you probably held plank pose now that I've been talking for maybe a minute. Can you imagine? 1 hour and 40 minutes. Gabby Uri, you can look her up. I'm going to put the link down below so you can check her out if you like. Now drop your knees down, because I'm not going to lie, that was hard. And lower all the way down to your mat. Okay, take a second here. Let your ear come to the mat or to the ground. Look over to one side. Take a big breath in. Let it out. Relax your entire body down into the ground. And slowly come forward. We're going to do a few baby cobras. Hands underneath your shoulders. Press the tops of your feet into the ground. Take a big breath in. Lift up. And lift down. Big breath in. Lift up. And exhale out. Big breath in. Lift up. Breathe out, lower down. And now another shoulder stretch. Bring your right hand down to the right, palm facing down, thumb pointing up. I'm going to scooch back so you can see me. Now, you be the judge of how much weight goes into that shoulder. It can be very little, so you can let your ear come to the mat, come to the ground, put your hand down, and just gently shift your weight onto that right shoulder. If that feels good and you want to go deeper, then you can take that left leg and bring it back behind you. Now, depending on where you hold tightness, I feel this in my shoulders and in the front of my shoulder and my chest because I hold a lot of tension there. But some people who are tight through the thighs, they'll feel it through the thigh, the lifted thigh. Take a few breaths here. Feel free to close your eyes. And come back to center. We're going to do the other side. So left hand out, thumb pointing down. Let your ear come to the ground and then slowly roll onto that shoulder. Again, you decide how much weight goes into that shoulder. You should feel a nice stretch. come back to the center. Slowly make your way back up. Bring your foot in front. Now, if you want to do the jump is fun. So come into downward facing dog. Look between your two hands. Exhale the air out and see if you can jump to crisscross. And then slowly lower all the way down for bridge. If you're one of those that would like to do a wheel pose while we're doing bridge pose, you are more than welcome. Consider this the time to do it. Make your feet about hip width distance apart. Pull your belly in. Press your lower back into the ground. That is my dog. I'm sorry. Pull the belly in. Press your lower back down. Squeeze your glutes and lift your hips up. Lift your hips up a little bit higher. And slowly lower down. Upper back, middle back, lower back down. One more time. Big breath in. Exhale. Draw the belly in. Lift the hips up. And I think he stopped barking now, which means one of my kids has brought him in, which I'm very grateful for. Slowly lower down. Upper back, middle back, lower back down. Bring your knees into your chest. Rock gently side to side. And now make your body look like that tabletop. Bend your knees stacked over your hips, feet flexed, calves parallel to the ground. Stretch your arms up toward the ceiling. We're going to turn on a little dead bug pose. Pull your belly in, press your lower back down, and then extend your left arm and your right leg. And come back, other side. Let's do that as we count down. 10, 9, keep pressing your lower back down. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring your knees into your chest. Rock gently side to side. Now, if you want to rock and roll, you can rock and roll a few times because it's fun to do. Roll up, and then you can actually see if you can balance and hover there. And then roll back. See if you can balance and hover there. Roll back. See if you can balance, hover there. Last one, we're going to boat. Roll back. And boat pose. Hold. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower down low. Come back up high. Cross your ankles. Lift your hip. Let's do that again. Ready? Boat pose. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower down low. Come back up high. Cross your ankles. Maybe you put your opposite foot in front. Whichever one feels weird to do, that's the one you want to do. Ready? Cross your ankles. Lift your hips. And relax. Nice work, guys. Okay, we're going to end with some gentle stretching. So we're going to do pigeon pose. Now remember, I've said this before, if pigeon pose does not feel good when we get into it, if you feel this in your knee especially, then you're going to do pigeon pose lying down on your back, and it looks like this. You've done it plenty of times. You bring your ankle on top of your knee, and then you reach around and you pull your knee in close. So if you start to feel pigeon pose in your knee, then I want you to do it on your back here where you have more control and less weight on your joints. If you're with me in pigeon pose with the seated one, you're going to come sitting on your knees. And then you're going to take your hips and you're going to bring them off to the right. Now you look like a mermaid. This top leg, you're going to stretch it back behind you. This becomes the tail feather of your pigeon. When I get into pigeon pose this way, all of my weight is on that right hip. So now try to evenly distribute the weight all over both hips. Push that left hip down and forward. Be aware of where your foot is, right? You can have your foot farther away from you. That's more of a stretch, or closer into your body. Take a big breath in, look up. Get that, this is my favorite part of pigeon pose, is the nice little back bend. And then slowly exhale and place your forehead on your hands. Close your eyes, relax your shoulders. Breathe in and breathe out. Big breath in and out. Inhale slowly come back up. You can stay here in this upright pigeon pose. If you want to try to go a little bit farther, go to the side so you can see it. Then you can reach back with your hand, bend your knee, and see if you can find your foot. So for me, this is a really big, deep stretch. I feel a stretch in the front of my shoulder. I feel a stretch through my hip flexors. Try to push that hip down and forward through my quad and the front of my leg. If you want to go a little deeper, you can see if you get it in the crook of your arm. I'm not quite there yet today. Relax that back down. And then we'll go to the other side. So come back into that seated position. And then take your hips and bring them off to the left side. Now your right leg is on top. Stretch it back behind you. Notice that all of your weight is on this left hip. Distribute the weight all over both hips. Push that right hip down and forward. Decide what you do with this front foot. Take a big breath in, look up, and breathe out slowly front. This time, notice what hand is on top for your pillow. Do the opposite hand. Even that little motion might feel weird. As you're in pigeon pose, remember when we're still, that's when our monkey mind has a tendency to chitter and chatter and jump around. So bring it right back here into your body. Notice each body part and how it feels. Feel the top of your foot against the ground. Feel your knee resting into the ground. Maybe you feel that stretch in the front of the thigh. Maybe you feel that stretch in the outside of your left thigh. Work your awareness up to your shoulders. Notice if they're scrunched up, relax them. Relax your face and your jaw and close your eyes and feel the weight of your forehead pressing into your hands. And then slowly roll up. Now you can stay here or practice. Take your hand back behind you, bend that back leg. You can't really see it this way. See, I'm grabbing my foot. Now this shoulder is a little bit tighter, so I can't go as far on this one. So I'm just going to stay right here grabbing my foot. If you want to, actually, no, I can do it. If you can work it up to the crook of your elbow, you're welcome to. You can also, if you'd like, and feel free, if you do this, you can pause it and do the other side. Mermaid pose. You shake out your mermaid hair, you reach back, so you can grab your hands. And let it come down. Take that back leg, swing it around in front. We're going to do what's called cow face pose. It's a lot of fun to do, and my favorite thing about cow face pose, I'll show you. So the bottom knee, you're going to point it in front of you, not out to the side. So when we're sitting crisscross, the knee is pointing out to the side. This time, you're going to point it directly in front of you. Notice this heel now is right up next to my hip. Then you're going to do the same thing with this top leg. You're going to stack the legs one on top of the other. So take your foot and stack one knee on top of the other knee. This foot now will be back next to this hip. This is the mouth of your cow. Move. Now we're going to work our shoulders. So you're going to take your hand up. Bring it back behind you. Take your other hand out, thumb pointing down. Reach it back behind. Now you were kids, so you probably can grab your hands back behind you. I cannot, but that's okay. If at this point you want a little towel, a towel helps, or a little belt helps, or you can just hold it like me. Take a big breath in, breathe out, fold over your mouth. These are the ears of your cow, by the way. This is my favorite part about cow face pose. It's getting to the other side. So my right knee is on top. I'm going to take my hands over to the left. So see how I'm tracing my foot. I'm not going to the opposite way, right? This isn't a twist. It's going inside that leg. Now the trick to this is you have to keep your feet planted where they're at. If you walk around and let your feet move, it's not going to work. Your feet have to stay relatively where they are. I'm going to put my hands on the ground. I'm going to lift my hips up, walk my hands around, and you're on the other side. Now, the first time I did that, it did not work, right? It took me about 6 times to do it. So if you need to pause this and try it out again, try it out again. In fact, I'll show you. Let's do it really quickly. We'll go back and forth. So now, I'm tracing my foot. I'm not twisting. I'm going inside. Feet stay relatively where they're at. Don't let them move. Weight in your hands and your feet. Walk your hands around. Ta-da! And now we have to go back to the other side. Trace my foot, lift the hips, walk it back around. Cow face. All right, let's do the other side. So make your mouth move. Hand up, behind you, hand out, thumb pointing down, underneath. Big breath in. Exhale and fold. Slowly make your way back up. Undo your legs, shake them out. Lie down on your backs. Walk your shoulders down away from your ears. Close your eyes. Take a big breath in. Let it out. Here again, notice if your thoughts are scattered or wandering. If they are, it's okay. Let that go and come back to your breath and the feelings in your body. Pay attention to your toes and your feet. Relax. Big breath in. Let it out. Pay attention to your calves and your knees and your thighs. Relax. Big breath in. Let it out. Pay attention to your hips and your belly and your lower back. Relax. Big breath in. Let it out. Pay attention to your shoulders and your chest and your arms, down to your fingertips. Relax. Big breath in. Long breath out. Pay attention to your neck, your jaw, your face, your mouth, your forehead, your eyebrows, the space between your eyebrows, your scalp, your ears. Relax. Stay right in that comfortable position. Be mindful and aware of your body. Shoulders. A man crosses the street in rain, stepping gently, looking 2 times north and south, because his son is asleep on his shoulder. No car must splash him. No car drive too near to be shadowed. This man carries the world's most sensitive cargo, but he's not marked. Nowhere does his jacket say fragile, handle with care. His ear fills up with breathing. He hears the hum of a boy's dream deep inside him. We're not going to be able to live in this world if we're not willing to do what he's doing with one another. The road will only be wide. The rain will never stop falling. Stretch your arms up over your head like you're waking up. Make your way slowly to one side or come up to a seated position, however it's comfortable for you. Put your hands on your knees, palms facing down. We'll end with one Lenin breath. Breathe in, raise your arms up. Flip your palms over, breathe out. Hands together in the center of your chest. All that is good within me honors and is grateful for all that is good within you. Namaste. Thanks for tuning in. Follow all the links down below for your homework. Work on that on the cow face pose, getting in and out of it the other way. It's a ton of fun. Show someone that you love how to do it. It's a great little fun thing to do. Practice your plank pose and maybe research Naomi, Shihab, and I, and the little girl, Gabby Ori. Have a wonderful day.